In a deep valley where the Stony Creek and Conemaugh rivers merge lies the modern industrial city of Johnstwon. Rebuilt after the flood of 1889, it is now the home of 125,000 people. From the top of the inclined plane, a bird's-eye view of the business district unfolds. Lifeblood of this important city is the steel industry. Here the first steel rails were rolled in 1853. Here Kelly developed the pioneer steel converter in America. Scene of the worst flood disaster in American history, the valley now is protected by river walls that make Johnstwon flood-free. At the busiest corner is a cross-section of those who work here. Lawyers, miners, steel workers and their families, young people, doctors, office girls. Nearby, the modern high school teaches students of many religious beliefs, races, and national origins to live and to learn together. 15,000 attend Johnstwon schools. Johnstowners live in all kinds of neighborhoods. One of the many steel workers lives in this GI housing development. This particular morning, he left for work at the usual time and in the usual way. Walked down to the nearest corner to catch the streetcar. And soon was on his way. He works for the Bethlehem Steel Company, a big plant that stretches 8 miles through the valley and employs 15,000 men. This is the Franklin Works. The coke plant burns coal to make coke, coal gas, and other byproducts. Every 12 minutes, a machine rams the burning coke out of an oven and into a car for its trip to the quencher. Here water floods the red-hot coals, producing a spectacular column of steam. On his way back home, he remembered that it was his usual day to go to the store. So he took a streetcar for the center of the city. This billboard struck his eye. The library might be worth looking into someday. He got off the car, did his shopping, and while waiting for his car home, looked over and saw the library building. It was as good a time as any to go over and investigate. He walked up the entrance steps and went inside. Of course, the place was all strange to him. But he saw a sign and went upstairs and looked around. This display on a table caught his eye. Perhaps he had missed most of these. Then Then he walked along the shelves and found they had books on many subjects. It was just a matter of helping yourself. When it came to the books on steel, a subject he knew something about, he discovered quite an up-to-date collection. Books on so many different subjects. He wondered how anybody could find what he wanted, until the librarian explained how the whole library operates. For instance, there is a card catalog, an index to all books in the library. Books are listed alphabetically by author, by title, and by subject matter on 3 separate cards. This is an author card. It shows the author's name, the title of the book, and the book's number, which indicates the book's position on the shelves. By writing down the number, it's a simple matter to find your book on the shelf. This is a title card. It shows the title of the book, the author's name, and the book's number. Knowing the number makes it easy to help yourself. Here is a subject card showing the subject, the author's name, and the book's number. Other books on the same subject are on the same shelf. Works of fiction are listed in the same card catalog, but only by author and title. They have no book numbers. They are arranged alphabetically on the shelves by the author's last name. If the novel you want has been borrowed, you can have it reserved for yourself when the reader returns it. The same procedure may be followed in obtaining any book owned by the library. Just fill out a reserved postcard listing the author's name and the title of the book. On the other side, put your name and address and leave a penny for postage. When the book is available, your postcard will be mailed to you. But the library has more than books. More than 100 technical and scientific magazines are displayed on racks. There are also more than 200 popular magazines. Current issues may be read only in the library, but back issues may be borrowed for home reading and study. To find what you want, use the Reader's Guide to Periodical Literature. It lists magazine articles alphabetically by author, title, and subject matter. In looking up material, you write down the name of the magazine and the date of issue on a slip of paper. A library assistant will then find it. When libraries do not have enough money to bind their magazines, they deteriorate and fall apart. But if bound, they can be used for 100 years. The Industrial Arts Index does for the trade and technical magazines what the Reader's Guide does for popular magazines. However, it lists articles by subject matter only. You write down the name of the magazine and the date of issue, and an assistant finds it for you. Recent issues are in good condition, but they are doomed to decay unless the library has enough money to bind them. In addition to magazines and books, the library keeps many pamphlets and pictures on various subjects. These are filed alphabetically by subject matter. Many are government publications. These also may be borrowed. If you need help to find your material, be sure to ask any of the assistants. They are familiar with reference books and will be glad to help you. You can make your inquiry by telephone, too. The newspaper did a portrait of a famous historian. By referring to the Reader's Guide, the reference assistant found several in magazines. And one was published that afternoon. The library always is ready to help you help yourself. In order to borrow books or other material from the library, it is necessary only to fill out a registration blank with your name and address. There is no charge for your library card if you live in the city or district which supports the library by taxes. If you live elsewhere, there is a small non-resident fee. On your library card are a number, the date it expires, and your name and address. Once you have a card, it is easy to check out books, which may be kept for 2 weeks. The date due is shown inside the cover. If you do not return the book when due, there is a fine for each day overdue. The due date may be extended for 2 more weeks on request. Through the library, the Lions Club sponsors a ceiling projector service for the bedridden of every age. A member of the Lions Club takes the projector to the home or hospital. And threads the film into the machine. Then the sick and crippled may lie comfortably in bed, press a button, look at the ceiling, and read and enjoy their particular favorite. Children have their own room in the library. Not only do they study and read here, but many try their skill as artists. A special display board is reserved for posting their latest creations. A library assistant offers help and advice in the selection of books. A special rack holds some of the wide variety of picture books. Smaller children take them to benches and tables especially constructed to make it easy for them. Very few homes can afford such expensive reference sets written and illustrated for children. But the latest edition of Two of the Best are at the fingertips of every child at the public library. Any child who can write his name and obtain his parents' permission may borrow books, usually not more than 3 at any one time. Parents themselves may take books home to read to the very youngest. To bring the library as close as the corner store, bookmobile service was established late in 1948. This traveling branch, the first one in any Pennsylvania city, goes to each elementary school in Johnstwon and Westmont once every 28 days. Children come out to the bookmobile, usually by classes, to pick out their books. The children's librarian or their teacher assists them in the selection, but most children prefer to make their own choice. The books are arranged on the shelves according to age, with those for the youngest on the bottom shelves, and the top shelf reserved for adult books. Because there are not enough books to meet the demand, each child is allowed to borrow only one. However, by trading their books in the classroom, the pupils read more than 15,000 books each month during the school year. Books do wear out, and with such continuous use of the bookmobile collection, many hundreds have to be replaced each year. Most youngsters cannot get to the library building because it is too far or too dangerous to walk, or they may be too young to make such a trip by streetcar alone. The bookmobile takes the library to them. Adults may use the bookmobile too at every school stop. If the books they want are not on the adult shelves of the bookmobile, they will be brought to them on the next visit. In fact, the bookmobile is a library on wheels. It is the most economical and efficient way to make books easily accessible in all parts of the area served. Each day it stops at one of 5 widely separated neighborhoods near a high school, so that high school students and adults have special weekly service. This is a good opportunity for mothers to select books for their youngest children as well as for themselves. Every month, the bookmobile visits 25 public and 12 parochial grade schools. Kids love it. "8,000 children look forward to the bookmobile's visit every month. During the summer, the bookmobile visits playgrounds instead of school buildings. Even merry-go-rounds and swings lose their popularity when the familiar maroon and gray machine rolls into view. A library board of managers, consisting of representative citizens serving without pay, directs library policy. Comparing Johnstown's library with those in the 5 cities nearest Johnstown's population, a startling difference in the number of books owned becomes apparent. There is a startling difference in public tax support, too. From this city of 20,000 in 1891, the year Cambria Library was built, Johnstown has grown to a modern industrial center. The half-mill library tax, voted by the people in 1946, is just the first of many steps Johnstown will take to bring its library up to modern standards. By supporting your public library, you help yourself.